Welcome to Steppa the Flatbush Don TV, where we don't glorify the streets, we learn from them. Today I want to talk to you about fear in the streets. When I was living in Crown Heights back in the 70s before I moved to Flatbush, there was a street gang before the Bloods, before the Crips, before the Nietas, before the Trinidadios, before the whatever. There was the Tomahawks. And the Tomahawks at that time was one of the largest street gangs in Brooklyn. And they had the streets on lock. Now, the Tomahawks had an arch rival called the Jolly Stompers. One of the main presidents for the Tomahawks was Derek Ford. They used to call him Champ. When he got conscious, he changed his name from Champ to Akbar. Now, as I said before, the Tomahawks had the streets on lock. They had the fear. They had the respect on the streets. They had a lot of people shook. Talk about jail, you hear about people locking in. When the Tomahawks used to come through, people used to lock into their houses, right? Yeah, they used to check in. I could laugh now, but remember in those days, I was a youth. I didn't even know myself back then. But I knew enough that I felt that I needed to defend myself. I was in second grade. I was living on New York Avenue, 270 New York Avenue, between Lincoln Place, and St. John's in Crown Heights. And I was going to a private school. You know, Caribbean people, they want their child to get the best education, this and that. So I had to wear a uniform, you know, a blazer and slacks. So it made me a target for the other kids in the hood. I had to walk to school because school was like maybe a block and a half, about a block on Lincoln Place. And now and again, I'd have to mix it up with some of the dudes I met along the way. So this was my first introduction to getting a weapon or at least bluff it. I ain't had access to no real gun, but I knew how people reacted to guns. So I was in the store one day. They used to have this cap gun. It looked realistic. It was black, but the cylinder was gray, and they used to have a red stopper in the front. Bought that, took the stopper off the front, painted the barrel, painted the cylinder black, scuffed it up a little bit, and put electric tape around the handle. like I must have seen in some movie or whatever, to make it look more realistic. So now, I didn't mind the one-on-one because I could handle myself. But when the bum rush came, you got 3, 4, 5 dudes trying to rush you, you need the equalizer. So I used to have that in my school bag. I walk. You had these dudes called the baby hawks at that time. You know, dudes be trying to shake you down, trying to rob you. Feel you got money. So when I passed the corner, they start trailing me. And when they came, when I felt that they was getting too close, I did a spin move, pulled out. Dudes got in the wind. From that day was on. Understood the power of being armed. Even though it was a bluff, I still understood the power of the gun. From there, I only graduated. I never wanted to become a victim. So I did what I had to do to protect me. Like a lot of other Caribbean people at that time, you had a lot of these gangs because you spoke different, because you dressed different. A lot of these gangs was preying on people, oppressing Caribbean people. And a lot of people, just like myself, started defending it. Now, oppression is oppression, but it's worse when it comes from people that look like you. When you're conscious, you understand that we from the same origins, the same beginnings. But I don't know, somewhere along the line, people get brainwashed and thinking that they're different. That's why you got these gangs today and so much bloodshed in the street. Everybody from the same communities, yet they killing each other over colors or whatever. Oppression is oppression. Why would you duplicate the same oppression from your colonizer, from your oppressor, and you're going to do it to somebody that live in your same community that look like you? I don't get it. I don't get it. You doing your oppressor's work for real, for real. Anytime you shed the blood of your brother, even a brother from another mother, you still doing oppressor's work. That's why the Untouchables was formed. Different organizations came out to defend their own people. And you got some of these dudes, they're ignorant. I asked a Latino dude, why you call yourself Spanish? You Hispanic. You ain't Spanish. Spanish is a language. I'm Spanish. I'm Spanish. Yeah, it's good to be proud. There's nothing wrong with that. But be proud knowledgeably. Know your background, know your history. Stop doing the oppressor's work for them because you just become an agent of the oppressor yourself. When I was on the island, I met dudes, seen dudes getting bust open for no reason, just because dudes had the power to do it. That was sick. I could see if you're defending yourself, you got to bust somebody open, you got to set an example or whatever. Somebody that's trying to hurt you, trying to harm you, is different. But for you to just grab somebody and just bust them open just for wreck, just to show that you could do it, that's sick. That's depraved. You don't get no points for that. No points at all. I was on the island when the real was real. When Blue Boy, all these dudes was Diablo, all these dudes was there, Caballo, all these dudes was there, Junior. I seen these dudes putting in work. Blue Boy was the first dude I know I seen spit a razor and made it bounce off the wall, catch the razor in his hand, and rip somebody. Even at that time when he told me, we used to talk in the day room, we used to chop it up. At that time, he was going to trial. He told me he had like 5 bodies or something like that. And he wasn't never going back. He was never going home, this, that. But he never treated me with disrespect. All this so-called oppression got to stop. I know it's not going to stop by my words, but stop doing the enemy's work for them. The real enemy is the ones who's trying to take all of us out. Not just some of us, all of us. So stop doing their dirty work. It's your brother, Steppa the Flatbush Don, on Steppa the Flatbush Don TV. Stay free, stay strong. Peace.